I'll say I don't really believe in the supernatural.
Okay.
I believe there's a logical, natural explanation for anything that happens. Now, I will also admit we don't know everything yet. We don't have all the answers. Every religion and culture has their own ideas of what may happen to us, what may happen to our souls, our bodies, our minds, once we pass on to the next thing. But realistically, nobody actually knows. Why do you ask?
Well, legend has it that here in our lovely town of downtown Orlando, there's this lake we have called Lake Lucerne. And one of the most well-known ghosts down at Lake Lucerne is the Lady in White. She's said to walk around Lake Lucerne, especially under the old oak trees that are around this area. And then in addition, you can hear her singing around Lake Lucerne on occasion, which
all I can hear are cars and motorcycles
yeah.
coming down the highway adjacent to Lake Lucerne.
Even though we know this house today as the Dr. Phillips House, the house was first commissioned under Peleg Peckham. Peleg Peckham was a proprietor for the Winter Park area, meaning he helped to build up schools as well as hospitals, local city government buildings, and neighborhoods in the Winter Park area. Peleg Peckham had this house commissioned for his daughter as a wedding gift. However, I'm not exactly sure the date, but sometime between the house being built in 1893 and then the house turning over to Dr. Phillips in 1912, the daughter of Peleg Peckham, her husband died, and the house was sold to some other guy. We don't really know much about the owner in between the Peckham family and Dr. Phillips, but Dr. Phillips purchased the house in 1912, in which a different architect actually renovated the house and made it a little up-to-date with modern bathrooms, as well as a really grand ballroom. Since Dr. Phillips was a big proprietor of the arts, he is actually named for our theatrical center, the Dr. Phillips Art Center. He had lots of soirees and sort of money-raising events, which he featured in his new ballroom that was built in 1912. Oh, come here. Look, you can see some sort of statue. You see that? You see it?
She looks kind of gray to me.
Yeah.
Great.
That's great.
There's also
lights up there.
Yeah, there's lights up there too. It would make sense that the house has a caretaker now, especially since the house was deeded to the city of Orlando in 1979 to the National Register of Historic Places. So I definitely think there's some sort of groundskeeper, caretaker that would stay, and I think that's what we're seeing up on the top story. It actually was the Phillips family. Both of his sons were in his industry as well, and after it passed a few generations, the Phillips family was the one that deeded it to the city of Orlando. So it stayed within the Phillips line right up until they decided to donate the house and deed the house to the city of Orlando in 1979. So tonight is August 31st, and we are walking to an event that's at the Dr. Phillips House. It's called the Haunted Tavern. And from my understanding of this type of event, all of the actresses and actors are bartenders who are making drinks and acting and telling ghost stories. That's kind of what I have inferred, but I've never been to something like this before, so I actually have no idea what we're in store for tonight. But I think the coolest part of tonight is that we get to go inside the Dr. Phillips house, which is what we've wanted to do now for quite a while.
And we're gonna take the audience with us.
And we're gonna take you guys with us. Very sneakily.
Sneaky love Mike.
Sneaky love Mike. Where is it? You'll never know.
Well, you know now, I just pointed it out.
That's true. Are you excited to actually go in the house tonight?
Oh, absolutely.
What part are you most excited for? Seeing the inside or the show?
And a couple cocktails.
And 4 cocktails to be exact.
Yeah, exactly.
4 mysterious cocktails that will be crafted by ghosts of the Dr. Phillips house. assuming we're not supposed to be down here.
This is like where all the stuff.
Oh yeah, go back upstairs. It's like a staff entrance, yeah.
Probably.
I feel like it's very tough to recount the past in ghost stories, right? Because like, for example, the last story was about Colonel Peleg Peckham and his daughter and how I guess she cheated on the husband and he ended up killing her and killing the guy that she cheated on and then himself. But how do we really know that happened? From the research that I personally did, there were no deaths recorded in the Dr. Phillips house. I do think there is a problem when we try and recount the past with a lot of emotion, like saying that someone was angry or revengeful or had rage.
It's so hard in just, week to week to recall
how we feel and yeah.
So like several decades in the future.
To wrap up our experience tonight, right? I think history in of itself can be boring. I definitely agree with that. And we need a little sprinkling of emotion, a little sprinkling of intrigue. And sometimes that intrigue isn't always as factual as the actual history that backs it. But it makes for a good story and an even better ghost story. So the Dr. Phillips house definitely has its ghosts of the past, whether they are actual beings who walk around the premises at night, or if it's really just ghost stories like we heard tonight.